Do you want beasts on your team like Khalil Mack and Saquon Barkley, but you don't have the coins to afford them? Make sure to hit up the coin store, man. Yes, link will be down in the description below. Make sure that you tell them that I sent you and get 10% off your first order. Yo, what's going on, my psychedelic squadron? It's your boy Trippy here, man. I'm getting ready to go ahead and hit you with this top 5 promos of Madden 19 so far. And honestly, let's just be 100% real. I don't think there's going to be a promo that's going to top any of this stuff. So let's go ahead and look at these sets real quick just so we can kind of get a grasp of what promos were out and available. And, you know, we'll start getting to from 5 to 1. Which ones are the best in my opinion. So we got things like the free agency, the combine, team MVPs, Ultimate Legends, Super Bowl, Team of the Year, NFL playoffs. We got campaign. I don't really. That's just like a series of like solo challenges. Zero Chill, Harvest, the I forget what they most feared. So they got the most feared Hall of Fame. I don't really know if that's a promo, but Football Outsiders don't really consider that a promo either. Legends on a promo. Team of the Week. No, not a promo. That's just more like a weekly basis thing. And that's basically it. Oh, Ultimate Kickoff and My Hero. So now that we got a quick gist of what like promos were like available, let's go ahead and get them to my top 5. So here's my number 5 on my list. That'll be the most feared promotion. This is actually the first promotion that you literally get a free like 90 overall player. At the time when this was like, you know, a thing, 90 overall players were like the shit. So yeah, around the time when this promotion was going on, 90 overall players were probably like, I'd say the equivalent to, because back then Calvin Johnson was a 94. He was like God back then. So the equivalent to 90 overall now would probably be like a 95, 96 overall. I'll say 95. That's a fair comparison. But back here, man, I'm a big like stickler on the like them giving us free stuff. Yeah, okay, I understand that you gotta like grind things, but another thing was pretty dope was like in the store, you pay like I think it was like $4, either like $350. It was either 350 MUT points or 500 MUT points. You end up getting like another 90 overall. So yeah, I understand that Calvin took 10, but honestly, looking back at it, like probably wasn't even worth doing, you know, the Calvin set, only because he was a MUT. I was gonna say a MUT monster, but he's a MUT monster master, so it really wouldn't have like his value wasn't gonna hold for long. And you seen that later on that his value wasn't gonna hold on. Just like I think Lawrence Taylor's value definitely held. That's just because he was such a beast at a 92 overall that you could do that. But then on the other flip side of this, we had the Night Guardians. Now, I understand that this is technically 2 separate promos, but it was all bundled together in like the Halloween, you know, portion of the promotion, or Halloween portion of the year, I should say. So I consider this all one thing. Now, granted, when you did the solos, you didn't necessarily get, you know, like a free 90 overall or whatever, but you got just enough pieces. And if you were lucky, you actually got even more pieces or high overall pieces to be able to complete more like the Khalil Macks, the Michael Thomases, the Harrison Smiths, or, you know, these two are like, you know, bottom tier, but it was still pretty cool. And at the time, like, the sooner you did it, the more coins you made off of it, or you got a player that you really wanted for your team. So if I were to go ahead and give a rating for, you know, the whole MUT Monster or the Most Feared promotion, I would give it a solid 8 out of 10. Like 8 out of 10, because it kind of kicked off a very short trend, a trend that really didn't last too long as far as you know, grinding solos to get like pieces in order to get a free player, or just getting a free player period. So I really liked it. I thought it was cool. Some of the things that they did with it were pretty cool as well. So that's number 5. Let's go ahead and get into number 4. And not shortly after that, we ended up getting the Turkey Bowl promotion. Turkey Bowl, Thanksgiving, whatever you want to call it. Either way, we got cards like Lawrence Taylor, 95 overall. We got 95 overall halfback Walter Payton, a.k.a. Sweetness, that you could put on your teams. Granted, at the time, it was like pointless because Ricky was just so good. But Sweetness plays like a beast. And I played one yesterday. Granted, it was Ultimate Legend, but it was still nonetheless really hard to stop. Aside from the Masters, you ended up getting, you know, cards like Patrick Mahomes, Alvin Kamara at the time was really in desperate need of an upgrade just due to the fact that his Mud Heroes card was slightly, like, well, not slightly, even slightly, very underwhelming. Also, we already had freaking Ricky yet again, so it was kind of hard to like really indulge into this card. You got things like Adam Thielen, Jason Peters, Gerald McCoy, Jarrell Casey, Miles Jack, who is a beast, by the way. My boy uses him in his defense when we play squads, and he is still a monster. And then we got things like Darius Slay, who's still to this day, right before I want to say this whole combine thing even started, was still one of the best corners in the game, and then he got a team MVP upgrade. So, and then the awesome thing about this is, like I said, I'm a big stickler on getting free stuff. If you did the solos, you ended up getting a really decent amount of coins as well as a free 93 overall player. So that was pretty cool. And then these packs were trash, but you had a bunch of other things that you could do. These sets were actually really glitchy if you sniped them for the right price. And then you ended up getting, like, you can really flip your coins off of things like this. And then when this first came out, like, if you pulled any 77 overalls, those things are going for like 10 freaking K, bro. So if you pulled them out of like a gold player pack or whatever you had going on, those things were selling like hotcakes because everybody was trying to do these cornucopia packs, aka potluck packs. Now, I've seen some people get some really fire things out of this, but the way that they had it set up, the algorithm or whatever you want to call it, it was terrible, bro. It was just not worth spending the 40 that you get from the solos or whatever have you. Yeah, overall though, I would honestly give this, just off the simple fact that you got a free 93 overall player, and at the time this was started, 93 overall player was like heaven sent. If you're considering that the highest overall players were like 95, 93 was really far behind them. Then with certain power-up sets, you're getting like even higher. This definitely has to be, I want to say like a 9.5. Just at the timing that it was, like not necessarily like now, but like looking back at it from when it was in that, you know, that perspective or that time frame, it was pretty dope, and it was pretty glitchy that you get to do that. And the solos weren't really too hard because you ended up getting to use the players that you're trying to, or you know, each player that you were trying to obtain, aka the All Stars and the Masters, during some of the solos after you completed those, you know, specific ones. So it was pretty cool. But enough blabbering about that. Let's go ahead and get into the number 3. And here we are. We have the team MVPs. Now, I understand, I don't think that the solos really gave you any like free players or anything like that. But what they did do, let's see where if I can find any solos for them. So yeah, there weren't even any solos for team MVPs per se. But, oh yeah, technically there was. There was the scouting the NFL, because this is kind of like when it came out. So, not even the team MVPs is what I really liked about it. It was the team builders. So if you don't know, a lot of people were trying to do a lot of theme teams, like such as, you know, me myself. I started the theme teams right before this, and these cards went ×3. Yes, ×3 for your team's chemistry. 95s, 94s actually went for ×2, as well as 93s, and anything below that, which I don't know if there was any 91s or 90 or 91. So it's like it kind of went from, or it kind of goes from 93 to about 90. So, but either way, this was awesome, and it was very pivotal for making a lot of theme teams go to 50. Because before the team builder, the Eagles theme team that I have didn't even go to 50. As we take a quick look at it real quick, I'm at 51 out of 50 now, and there's still other ways that I can get even more Eagles chems out of this. But I'm already at 50. I'm already hitting the max. I have all the pivotal key pieces. And it's actually pretty dope. So I really appreciate that, because it made Madden a little more fun for me, because I was literally this close to selling my team prior to the theme team idea that I had coming out. But if I were to give the team builders, I guess it's a promo or / team MVPs, man, I'd have to give this a solid, honestly, I'd have to give it like it'd be a 7.5. Now, I know I just like rant and raved about how good it was, but you don't really get any free players. You got those solos that give you scouts, and scouts you can eventually use to obtain other players. Yeah. But it really just, I don't know, man. At the time of them being released, Ultimate Legends were coming out, and those prices were going down so much that unless you had like specific cards like, you know, a theme team going on, it was really hard to kind of like get invested into some of these cards. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and give it like a 7.5. But now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the number 2 on this list of forgetting free players. Look no further than the Super Bowl promotion, where you actually ended up getting, for completing the solos, which was probably, I want to say 28 solos altogether, you actually ended up getting a free 94 overall player. And if everybody did the blue team like everybody really suggested that you did, you ended up getting a 95 overall player, because the blue team actually got a +1 upgrade later on once the solo challenge was completed. So I ended up getting Reggie White. And then later on, I ended up getting a a Dallas Clark. Once they did the code packs that were going on during the Super Bowl promotion. Now, the code packs, I don't know if they're still in here by any chance. These are sets, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they were not. They're not even in here anymore. But the code packs were a limited time solo challenge that you had to decipher and make sure that you understood, what the challenge was. It would be things like, get a safety, or not even get a safety, but be on the receiving end of, being sacked in the end zone, basically, fumble the ball, throw an interception, score a touchdown in the air, things like that. And then you would have to input the same code over and over again in order to get like collectibles and things like that. And I think they ended up quick selling for a pretty decent amount of coins. But then if you did it the first time you did it, you ended up getting a Super Bowl card. And then they doubled down on more Super Bowl players. Like, look at this, Julian Edelman, Marcus Peters. Then we have all these Super Bowl present cards from the players that were playing in the big game this year. And then there were so many coin making opportunities that were involved in this, because like there were certain sets that if you spent Super Bowl rings on it. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of extra currencies in the game, but it was really a really decent way to go ahead and make tons of coins from the Super Bowl rings if you spent and re-rolled on the same sets over and over again. I made a ton. I actually ended up spending a ton. So, but either way, it was cool while it lasted, and everything was fun. The blitz was actually pretty decent, but I didn't get to partake because 1, I worked, 2, the server sucked, and 3, the global limits really blew. So, but other than that, I would go ahead and wrap this thing up by giving this, I'd say, I give it a solid 8. Only because you got like multiple free players, and then the coin making opportunities out of the solo, out of this Super Bowl rings that you could use, and it was pretty dope. Honestly, looking back at it, it was actually way better than I was giving it credit for once it was released. Whew, that was a mouthful. But either way, for the number 1 promotion out of all that were released so far in Madden 19, it's going to have to be by far the Zero Chill promotion. This is probably the most that they've went into a promotion, and Lord Jesus, between the Ghost of Madden things, the snow currency that they had implemented in the game, the Oop Iron Man and the Oop players, you really couldn't make a whole lot of coins off of unless you got them when they were released out of presents, which was by far the best thing that was in the Zero Chill promotion. There are so many people that I've talked to that didn't even play Madden until the Zero Chill promotion, and then just made buku coins. I'm talking millions of coins off of just pulling presents and then making sure that they get a good present. And it was pretty easy to identify which presents were good, which presents were bad, just due to the fact they were large, extra large, small, medium, etc., etc. And then there was just so many Ghost of Madden cards that, oh man, just speaking of Ghost of Madden, I have a Ghost of Madden B-Dog that I wanted so bad but couldn't get until after the promotion was ended, because I literally spent all my coins re-rolling to try to get this one card. And looking at him, he is absolutely worth every penny, especially on this team. But either way, I'm going to make this one quick because it's pretty self-explanatory. Presents made this 100% awesome. It did kind of fuck the market up a little bit, excuse my language, but it was definitely a sight to be seen, and I really enjoyed the Zero Chill promotion. Didn't at first, because when they first dropped it, it was literally just let's go back to it real quick. It was for the most part just Chad Ochocinco and freaking Dick Buckus, and then these cards are hella expensive. They weren't worth the money for real. It was cool to see them get upgrades, but for the most part, it was just bad. It was really bad, and there wasn't really too much to do. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, though. Let me know what your guys' favorite promotions were during Madden 19 so far. Let me know if I left something out that you really enjoyed, like Team of the Year, NFL playoffs, something along those lines. And Yeah, but if you did enjoy, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Two-piece those mofos. It'll help the channel grow tremendously. Don't forget to comment down below. And until next time, fellas, peace.